Good morning, everyone, and welcome. I'm excited to kick off today's session on the Social Stock Exchange, or SSE. Today's presentation is titled Social Enterprise Concept, Eligibility and Legal Framework, and I'll be guiding you through these important topics. We'll explore what a social enterprise is, who qualifies, and the legal landscape surrounding this innovative approach. I look forward to sharing insights and fostering a meaningful discussion. Let's get started. Let's take a look at the index for today's presentation. We'll start with an introduction to what the Social Stock Exchange, or SSE, actually is. Then, we'll explore the objectives and purpose behind establishing the SSE, understanding why it's important and what it aims to achieve. Moving forward, we'll discuss the key features of the SSE, along with the regulatory framework that governs it. Next, we'll look into the types of activities that are eligible to be listed and the various forms that social enterprises can take. We'll also go through the eligibility conditions required for participation, emphasizing the primacy of social intent, because that's at the core of everything we're discussing today. Following that, we'll cover the criteria for registering as a nonprofit organization, the legal requirements they must meet, and the different funding options available to them. We'll then discuss how fundraising works within this framework, along with the specific criteria and legal requirements for for-profit entities, or FPEs. We'll also look at norms around investor participation, disclosure requirements to ensure transparency, and the formats for annual reporting. To help you keep track of all these elements, we'll review a compliance checklist. Finally, we'll wrap up with a summary of the key takeaways from today's presentation. This index is designed to give you a roadmap of what we'll cover, connecting each point to the overall theme of fostering social enterprises through a structured, regulated platform. So let's talk about what a social stock exchange, or SSE, actually is. Essentially, it's a dedicated segment within a recognized stock exchange that focuses on social enterprises. These are organizations that aim to generate social or environmental impact, alongside or even instead of profit. What's interesting here is that both not-for-profit organizations, those NPOs, and for-profit social enterprises, or FPEs, can list their securities on the SSE to raise funds. And all of this is done under the regulation of SEBI, which adds a layer of credibility and oversight. The idea behind the SSE is to create a formal platform where social enterprises can access capital markets more easily, helping them scale their impactful work. It's a way to connect investors who are looking to support social change with organizations that need funding to expand their positive influence. So, in the context of our overall theme, the SSE serves as a crucial bridge, linking social enterprises with the financial ecosystem and promoting a more inclusive approach to investment and growth. Today, I want to talk about the objectives and purpose of the Social Stock Exchange, or SSE. The main goal here is to facilitate social financing through market-based mechanisms. Essentially, we want to make it easier for social enterprises to access funding by leveraging financial markets. Another key objective is to create a transparent platform that brings together social enterprises, donors, and investors. This transparency is crucial because it builds trust and allows everyone to see the social impact being made. Finally, we aim to strengthen accountability and disclosure of social impact outcomes. This means social enterprises should regularly report on their progress and results, ensuring that their social goals are being achieved and that investors can make informed decisions. All of these points tie into the broader theme of building a robust ecosystem for social enterprises, one that encourages investment, enhances transparency, and maximizes social impact. Today, I will walk you through the objectives and purpose of the Social Stock Exchange, or SSE. This slide highlights the core idea behind the SSE, which is to create a platform that bridges social enterprises with investors who want to support social causes. The goal is to promote transparency and accountability in social enterprise activities while encouraging investment in impactful initiatives. We'll also explore what exactly a social stock exchange is, It's essentially a marketplace where social enterprises can raise funds much like traditional companies do on stock exchanges, but with a focus on social impact. The slide further covers the concept of social enterprises themselves, businesses that prioritize social and environmental goals alongside financial sustainability. Eligibility and framework are also key points. We'll see what criteria social enterprises need to meet to be listed, and how the SSE is structured to support these organizations effectively. All of these elements tie back to the overall theme of promoting sustainable, impactful development by connecting social enterprises with investors who care about making a difference. And this presentation is brought to you by SK Vijay, who will guide us through these important insights. Now, let's take a closer look at the key features and regulations governing the social stock exchange. It is primarily governed by the SEBI regulations of 2022, which provide a clear framework for its operation. These regulations ensure that the exchange functions in a transparent and compliant manner. The social stock exchange operates under the main stock exchanges like NSE and BSE, which are well-established platforms in India. This connection helps to provide credibility and visibility to social enterprises seeking to list their securities. One of the most important aspects is that it enables non-profit organizations and for-profit enterprises to list eligible securities specifically tied to social projects. This framework creates a bridge between social enterprises and the broader capital markets, fostering funding for impactful projects. Overall, these features are designed to support the growth of social enterprises and ensure they are regulated properly, aligning with the overall goal of promoting social impact through a structured financial platform. Now, let's take a closer look at the diverse range of activities that contribute to social development and inclusion. We have initiatives like eradicating hunger, poverty, and malnutrition, which are fundamental for building a healthy society. Promoting education and literacy is equally important, as it empowers individuals and opens up new opportunities. Providing healthcare and sanitation ensures better quality of life and helps prevent disease. Supporting women and child development focuses on vulnerable groups, fostering equality and nurturing future generations. Environmental sustainability is vital for protecting our planet, while rural development aims to uplift underserved communities. Promoting art and culture enriches our societal fabric, and encouraging sports and recreation promotes physical and mental well-being. Disaster relief and rehabilitation are crucial during emergencies, helping communities recover and rebuild. Furthermore, social inclusion and support for persons with disabilities ensure that everyone has a chance to participate fully in society. Supporting senior citizens' welfare addresses the needs of our aging population. Animal welfare highlights our compassion towards all living beings. Vocational training and support for micro, small, and medium enterprises empower entrepreneurs and stimulate economic growth. Promoting entrepreneurship among marginalized communities helps bridge social gaps, and supporting slum development and rehabilitation improves living conditions. All these activities are interconnected, contributing to a holistic approach towards social progress, which ties into the broader theme of sustainable and inclusive development that we are exploring today. Now, let's move on to Slide 8, where we explore the different forms of social enterprises. One key concept here is the social stock exchange, which provides a platform for social enterprises to raise capital and showcase their social impact. It's an innovative way to connect investors with organizations that prioritize social good. Next, we have the general idea of a social enterprise itself. These are organizations that fundamentally aim to solve social problems through sustainable business models. They operate at the intersection of profit and purpose, balancing financial viability with social impact. We'll also look at the concept, eligibility, and framework of social enterprises. This involves understanding what qualifies an organization as a social enterprise, the criteria it needs to meet, and the overall structure that supports their growth and accountability. And as we see here, the presentation is brought to you by SK Vijay, whose insights help us understand how these forms are shaping the future of social entrepreneurship. Overall, this slide emphasizes the importance of diverse structures and platforms, like the social stock exchange, in enabling social enterprises to thrive and expand their reach. This ties back to our broader theme of promoting sustainable social impact through innovative financial and organizational models. Now, let's look at the eligibility conditions for social enterprises within the context of a social stock exchange. These conditions are designed to ensure that only genuine social enterprises are listed, creating a trustworthy platform for investors. First, a social enterprise must primarily aim to address a social or environmental issue, aligning with the broader goal of social impact. It's not just about profit. The core mission should be social good. Next, there are specific criteria related to the enterprise's operations, such as transparency and accountability standards, which help maintain credibility and trustworthiness. The enterprise should have a clear, sustainable business model that demonstrates the potential for long-term social impact. Additionally, eligibility often involves certain financial benchmarks, ensuring that listed entities are financially viable and capable of scaling their impact. And finally, the framework sets out governance standards and reporting requirements, so investors can make informed decisions. All these conditions together create a robust ecosystem that supports social enterprises in their growth, while assuring investors of their authenticity and commitment to social goals. This aligns perfectly with our overall theme of integrating social impact into mainstream financial markets. Now, moving on to the primacy of social intent, it's essential to demonstrate that a significant portion of a social enterprise's activities are genuinely focused on social impact. Specifically, we look at the past 3 years and see that at least 67% of revenues, expenditure, or beneficiaries are related to social activities and the target population. This threshold helps us ensure that the primary purpose of the organization remains rooted in social good. By maintaining this level of commitment, social enterprises not only align with their core mission, but also build credibility and trust with stakeholders. This emphasis on social intent is crucial because it distinguishes genuine social enterprises from organizations that might engage in social activities only superficially. Throughout this presentation, you'll see how this focus on social intent ties into the broader framework of the social stock exchange and the criteria for social enterprise eligibility. It's about ensuring that the enterprise's operations are purpose-driven and impactful, reinforcing the overall theme of social responsibility and sustainable development. Let's now look at the key criteria for NPO registration, especially in the context of the social stock exchange and social enterprises. As we explore this, it's important to understand the concept, eligibility criteria, and the overall framework that guides registration. First, the social stock exchange is an innovative platform designed to connect social enterprises and nonprofit organizations with investors who want to support social impact initiatives. When it comes to social enterprises, these are organizations that aim to generate social or environmental benefits alongside financial sustainability. Understanding the concept is crucial because it shapes the eligibility criteria for registration. Eligibility typically includes demonstrating a clear social mission, transparency in operations, and a sustainable business model that aligns with social objectives. The framework for registration involves compliance with specific guidelines set by regulatory authorities, ensuring that only genuine social entities are listed. This process helps build trust among investors and stakeholders, reinforcing the credibility of the social enterprise ecosystem. By establishing these criteria, we aim to promote transparency, accountability, and impact-driven growth within the social sector. So, in summary, understanding these key points helps us recognize what it takes for social enterprises and NPOs to register effectively and contribute meaningfully to societal development. Now, let's look at some of the legal requirements for nonprofit organizations aiming to register as social enterprises. First, you need to register your organization either as a trust, a society, or a Section 8 company. Each of these legal structures has its own registration process, but all are recognized for social enterprise purposes. Next, it's essential to have a valid IT PAN, which is mandatory for tax purposes and financial transactions. You also need to maintain books of accounts that are audited annually for at least the past 3 years. This ensures transparency and accountability in your financial dealings. Another key point is the disclosure of tax deduction eligibility for donors. Clearly communicating whether donors can claim tax benefits when they contribute not only encourages donations, but also builds trust with your supporters. To sum up, complying with these legal requirements is fundamental to establishing credibility and sustainability as a social enterprise. These steps not only align with legal standards, but also reinforce your organization's commitment to transparency and good governance. Let's take a closer look at some of the funding options available for NPOs. One interesting instrument is the Zero Coupon Zero Principal Instruments, or ZCZP. These are particularly useful when you're focusing on project-specific fundraising, allowing organizations to raise funds without the immediate repayment burden. Another option to consider is donations through mutual funds. Many investors now prefer contributing via mutual funds, which can be a convenient and transparent way to support social initiatives. Additionally, there are other mechanisms approved by SEBI, the Securities and Exchange Board of India. These mechanisms expand the avenues for NPOs to tap into formal financial channels, ensuring compliance and credibility. By understanding these diverse funding options, NPOs can better strategize their fundraising efforts and align them with their social objectives. This is especially relevant as we explore innovative frameworks like the Social Stock Exchange, which we'll delve into further in this presentation. Let's walk through the process of fundraising through the Social Stock Exchange. First, the organization must complete the registration process with the SSE. This step is crucial as it establishes the foundation for all subsequent activities. Next, the company appoints an intermediary, such as a merchant banker or a registrar, who will facilitate the entire fundraising process and ensure compliance with regulatory requirements. After that, the organization files draft fundraising documents with the SSE. These documents include details about the social enterprise, its objectives, and the amount of funding sought. Once these drafts are submitted, there is a public comment period of 21 days, where stakeholders and the general public can review and provide feedback on the proposal. This transparency fosters trust and accountability. Following the public comments, the SSE reviews the submissions and grants approval for the fundraising. Once approved, the organization can officially launch the issue, making the securities available to investors. The final steps involve allotting the securities to investors and listing them on the SSE, completing the fundraising journey. This process ensures a transparent, regulated, and inclusive approach to raising funds for social enterprises, aligning with the overall theme of promoting social impact through responsible financial practices. Now, let's look at the criteria for for-profit enterprises, or FPEs. Essentially, these are companies or bodies corporate that are recognized under the Companies Act. That means they are registered and operate within the legal framework that governs corporate entities. Additionally, these enterprises must meet the norms set by SEBI, specifically the ICDR norms. These guidelines ensure transparency, investor protection, and proper functioning in the capital markets when they raise funds. Speaking of funding, FPEs have the flexibility to issue both equity and debt instruments. They can also attract impact investments, which are investments aimed at generating social or environmental benefits alongside financial returns. So, in summary, the key points are that FPEs are recognized companies under the law, compliant with SEBI norms, and capable of raising different types of capital, including impact investments. These criteria are essential because they help define who can participate in the social stock exchange and ensure that these enterprises operate transparently and responsibly. Let's talk about the legal requirements and funding options for FPEs. First, it's important to note that there is no need for registration with the SSE prior to starting fundraising activities. This simplifies the process and encourages social enterprises to access capital more easily. However, they must still comply with the SEBI ICDR and LODR regulations, which are essential to ensure transparency and protect investors. When it comes to funding modes, social enterprises have several options. They can issue equity, attract investment through alternative investment funds, or raise funds via debt instruments. Each of these options offers different advantages and suits various stages of a social enterprise's growth. Overall, understanding these legal and funding frameworks is crucial for social enterprises to operate confidently within the regulatory landscape while pursuing their social missions effectively. Let's now look at the investor participation norms. As per the current regulations, retail investors are permitted only for main board FPE securities. This means that individual investors can participate directly in these specific securities, providing them an accessible entry point. For other types of securities, participation is limited to institutional investors and non-institutional investors. Institutional investors include entities like mutual funds, insurance companies, and pension funds, while non-institutional investors are typically high-net-worth individuals or large retail investors. These norms are defined under the SEBI ICDR regulations of 2018, which set clear guidelines to ensure a structured and transparent process for investor participation. Understanding these norms is crucial because they help maintain a balanced and fair market, enabling different types of investors to participate appropriately based on the security type. This, in turn, supports the overall integrity and growth of the capital markets, aligning with the broader theme of fostering responsible investment practices. Now, let's delve into the disclosure requirements that are essential for different types of organizations. For NPOs that are registered, the key obligation is to submit annual disclosures. This ensures transparency and accountability in their operations. Moving on to NPOs that are listed, the requirements become more comprehensive. These organizations need to provide not only annual disclosures, but also quarterly reports and disclosures based on specific events as they happen. For FPEs, or financially promoted entities, the disclosures are outlined in Chapter IV and V of the LODR, which emphasizes detailed and periodic reporting to maintain investor confidence and regulatory compliance. Additionally, there's a mandatory requirement for an annual impact report. This report is crucial because it communicates the social impact created by the organization, aligning with the overall theme of social enterprise and responsible reporting. All these disclosure requirements collectively aim to promote transparency, build trust with stakeholders, and ensure that social enterprises and other entities operate in a responsible and accountable manner. Let's take a closer look at the annual reporting formats, specifically focusing on the social stock exchange and social enterprises. Here, we're exploring the concept, the eligibility criteria, and the framework that supports these organizations. As we go along, keep in mind how these reporting formats are designed to promote transparency and accountability for social enterprises. This is crucial in building trust with stakeholders and encouraging investment in social impact initiatives. Presented by S.K. Vijay, this section highlights how structured reporting can help social enterprises showcase their impact effectively. Understanding these formats will give us a clearer picture of how social enterprises can align their reporting practices with broader sustainability and social responsibility goals. Let's now turn our attention to the annual reporting formats, specifically focusing on the social stock exchange and social enterprises. Here, we'll explore the core concept of what a social enterprise is, the eligibility criteria to qualify as one, and the framework that supports this classification. As we discuss these points, keep in mind how these reporting formats are designed to promote transparency and accountability in the social sector. This segment is presented by S.K. Vijay, and it plays a crucial role in understanding how social enterprises can effectively communicate their impact and sustainability. So, Let's dive into the details and see how these formats can help align social enterprises with broader financial and social reporting standards. Let's go through the key points on our compliance checklist. First, we need to ensure that our organization has maintained a 3-year track record of age verification and has up-to-date audited accounts. This demonstrates transparency and financial accountability. Next, it's crucial to have valid tax exemption certificates in place, which support our status as a social enterprise and can facilitate potential benefits. We also need to meet the 67% social activity rule, meaning that the majority of our activities should be focused on social impact rather than purely commercial interests. Additionally, we must confirm that there are no regulatory or pending scrutiny issues, ensuring we are operating within legal boundaries and maintaining good standing with authorities. Finally, disclosure compliance is essential. This means all required disclosures are properly made, ensuring transparency with stakeholders and maintaining trust. Collectively, these elements form a comprehensive compliance checklist that not only helps us meet regulatory standards, but also strengthens our credibility as a social enterprise. This is vital as we work towards establishing our presence on the social stock exchange and advancing our social mission. Now, as we wrap up, let's review the key takeaways from this presentation. The social stock exchange, or SSE, acts as a bridge connecting social impact initiatives with the broader capital markets. It's designed to encourage greater transparency and accountability among social enterprises, which in turn helps to build trust and foster growth. Importantly, the SSE promotes scalability, enabling social ventures to expand their impact more effectively. Nonprofit organizations, or NPOs, can leverage ZCZPs, zero coupon, zero principal bonds, and FPEs, or financial performance ecosystems, to access impact funding through market instruments. These tools provide innovative ways for social enterprises to raise capital while staying aligned with their social missions. Overall, the SSE is about creating a more integrated ecosystem where social impact and financial sustainability go hand in hand. This approach not only amplifies the reach of social initiatives, but also encourages greater participation from investors who want to make a difference. And that, in essence, ties back to the core theme of harnessing the power of markets to drive positive social change. Let's take a moment to look at this slide's disclaimer. It's important to remember that the content we're discussing today is purely for educational and informational purposes. It doesn't serve as professional advice or a formal recommendation. This presentation is designed to provide general guidance, but we cannot be held responsible for any loss that might arise if someone acts or refrains from acting based on this material. So, before making any decisions, I strongly encourage you to seek professional advice. Now, moving on to the main topic of this slide, we're focusing on the concept of the social stock exchange and its relation to social enterprises. We'll explore what makes a social enterprise eligible and look at the overall framework that supports these organizations. This ties into our broader discussion on how financial markets can promote social impact and the role of the social stock exchange in facilitating that. Throughout, I want you to keep in mind that this is about creating a bridge between social goals and financial instruments, making it easier for social enterprises to access funding and grow. Believe in yourself, and you will become unstoppable. When you have confidence in your abilities and your vision, there's no limit to what you can achieve. That mindset is crucial, especially in the context of social enterprises, where passion and belief drive impactful change. Today, I want to highlight how the social stock exchange is a powerful platform that supports these values. It's designed to help social enterprises gain visibility and access to resources, encouraging more entrepreneurs to believe in their missions. We've explored the concept of the social stock exchange, its eligibility criteria, and its framework, all aimed at fostering a thriving ecosystem for social impact. Remember, believing in yourself is the first step toward making a difference, and platforms like this can amplify your efforts, making you truly unstoppable. Thank you so much for your time and attention. I really appreciate the opportunity to share this journey with you. Here, I want to express my gratitude and acknowledge the team behind KnowledgeAlia, founded by myself, SK Vijay. If you have any questions or want to connect further, please feel free to reach out via email at vijx0201@gmail.com. And don't forget, you can also follow KnowledgeAlia on LinkedIn to stay updated on our latest news and insights. Once again, thank you for being part of this presentation. Your support means a lot, and I look forward to connecting with you all in the future.